Savitri, Book 10, The Book of the Double Twilight, Canto 3, The Debate of Love and Death. Then larger dawns arrive, and wisdom's pomps cross through the being's dim, half-lighted fields. Philosophy climbs up thought's cloud-bank peaks, and science tears out nature's occult powers. Enormous jinns who serve a dwarf's small needs exposes the sealed minutiae of her art and conquers her by her own captive force. On heights unreached by minds most daring soar, upon a dangerous edge of failing time, the soul draws back into its deathless self. Man's knowledge becomes God's supernal ray. There is the mystic realm, whence leaps the power whose fire burns in the eyes of seer and sage. A lightning flash of visionary sight, it plays upon an inward verge of mind. Thought, silenced, gazes into a brilliant void. A voice comes down from mystic unseen peaks, a cry of splendor from a mouth of storm. It is the voice that speaks to nights profound. It is the thunder and the flaming call. Above the plains that climb from nescient earth, a hand is lifted towards the invisible's realm. Beyond the superconscious blinding line, and plucks away the screens of the unknown. A spirit within looks into the Eternal's eyes. It hears the word to which our hearts were deaf. It sees through the blaze in which our thoughts grew blind. It drinks from the naked breasts of glorious truth. It learns the secrets of eternity. Thus, all was plunged into the riddling night. Thus, all is raised to meet a dazzling sun. O death, this is the mystery of thy reign. In earth's anomalous and magic field, carried in its aimless journey by the sun, mid the forced marches of the great dumb stars, a darkness occupied the fields of God, and matter's world was governed by thy shape. Thy mask has covered the Eternal's face. The bliss that made the world has fallen asleep. Abandoned in the vast, she slumbered on. An evil transmutation overtook her members till she knew herself no more. Only through her creative slumber flit frail memories of the joy and beauty meant under the sky's blue laugh mid green scoffed trees, and happy squanderings of scents and hues in the field of the golden promenade of the sun, and the vigil of the dreamlight of the stars, amid high, meditating heads of hills, on the bosom of voluptuous, rain-kissed earth, and by the sapphire tumblings of the sea. But now the primal innocence is lost, and death and ignorance govern the mortal world, and nature's visage wears a grayer hue. Earth still has kept her early charm and grace. The grandeur and the beauty still are hers, but veiled is the divine inhabitant. The souls of men have wandered from the light, and the Great Mother turns away her face. The eyes of the creatrix bliss are closed, and sorrow's touch has found her in her dreams. As she turns and tosses on her bed of void, because she cannot wake and find herself, and cannot build again her perfect shape, oblivious of her nature and her state, forgetting her instinct of felicity, forgetting to create a world of joy, she weeps and makes her creature's eyes to weep. Testing with sorrow's edge her children's breasts, she spends on life's vain waste of hope and toil the poignant luxury of grief and tears. In the nightmare change of her half-conscious dream, tortured herself and torturing by her touch, she comes to our hearts and bodies and our lives, wearing a hard and cruel mask of pain. Our nature, twisted by the abortive birth, returns wry answers to life's questioning shocks. An acrid relish finds in the world's pangs, drinks the sharp wine of grief's perversity. A curse is laid on the pure joy of life. Delight, God's sweetest sign and beauty's twin, dreaded by aspiring saint and austere sage, is shunned. A dangerous and ambiguous cheat, a specious trick of an infernal power, it tempts the soul to its self-hurt and fall. A Puritan God made pleasure a poisonous fruit, or red drug in the marketplace of death, and sin the child of nature's ecstasy. Yet every creature hunts for happiness, buys with harsh pangs, or tears by violence from the dull breast of the inanimate globe some fragment or some broken shard of bliss. even joy itself becomes a poisonous draught. Its hunger is made a dreadful hook of fate. All means are held good to catch a single beam, eternity sacrificed for a moment's bliss. Yet for joy, and not for sorrow, earth was made, and not as a dream in endless suffering time. Although God made the world for his delight, an ignorant power took charge and seemed his will, and death's deep falsity has mastered life. All grew a play of chance, simulating fate.